What's up guys? I'm back with another video. This time it's for Smite. I'm gonna go over Izanami. She is a ton of fun. She is probably one of my favorite hunters. She's a Japanese god. She is the matron of the dead. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the build. So for items, I start with Hunter's Blessing and Spiked Gauntlet. So Spiked Gauntlet, normally you wouldn't start with that, but the lifesteal is almost needed on her, especially considering her first ability gives her attack speed. So you get some lifesteal in the beginning, you're able to kind of sustain yourself. Okay, so it's just a little bit helpful. Um, you could switch to something else if you really wanted to. It's not like an end all be all. You have to pick it. It's just it's what I prefer to pick on her. So if like say you wanted you know the beginning of Deathbringer, the first little sword, that's fine. It's it's not a big deal. You're just looking to pick a starting item, and that's going to be probably your biggest thing. In this case, it would be Hidden Dagger for that. So you could start with that, and that's fine. Not a problem. But I do think starting with Spiked Gauntlet has it's kind of proved itself for me. So I do stick with that. Um, then you can get some health potions and multi potions. That's up to you. I feel they don't really help too much in arena because there's constant fighting going on. Um, so it helps a little, but you don't heal fast enough for it to matter enough. So with that being said, the first item I build is Rage. 20 physical power, 30% critical strike. Killing or getting an assist on an enemy god gives you one stack. Each stack provides 3% critical strike chance. Stacks are permanent and stack up to 5 times. So you're gonna you're gonna get a lot of crit strike chance with this. So that's why we build it first, so that you build the stacks quicker. The sooner you have the stacks, the better. So next I move on to Warrior Tavi. 40 physical power, 100 mana, and 18% movement speed. So we use this for the physical power. She needs physical power just like most hunters. They just need a lot. You could get away with just going basically straight up crit and attack speed, but I like to have the power. So after Warrior Tabi, I then move on to the Executioner. 35 physical power, 25% attack speed. Basic attacks against an enemy reduce your target's physical protection by 7% for 3 seconds. Max of 3 stacks. So these stacks aren't permanent. They only last for 3 seconds. So you want to basically get to the 3 stacks as quick as possible, but it's not something you need right away. So this is just good damage once the fight starts. It's good damage when the fight hasn't started because you're still getting 35 physical power and the 25% attack speed, but the passive is what you're really getting this for, and it makes the damage for your allies against that enemy and for you go up quite a bit because you're reducing their physical protection by 7% for 3 seconds for 3 stacks. So you're getting 21% less physical protection on the enemy you're hitting. That's really good. So then after that, I move on to the Blood Forge. This is probably my favorite lifesteal item. So 75 physical power, that's insane. That's a great amount of physical power. And then 15% physical lifesteal. It's a good amount of physical lifesteal, but the passive is really helpful. So killing an enemy god forges a shield from their blood, with health equal to 200 plus 10 per player level for 20 seconds. While the blood shield is active, you gain plus 10% movement speed. So you get more survivability, you get movement speed, you already have physical lifesteal from it, and you have physical power from it. This item is almost a go-to item on every single physical character I play. It's just something I have in every build because it is just that good. So, moving on, Deathbringer. I love this item. It's such a fun item. Um, it's just so good. I'm not sure why it's not popping up right now, but basically it amplifies the crit damage you do. So it's 40 physical power plus 25% critical strike chance. The passive is critical strike bonus damage dealt is increased by 30%. 30% more damage with your critical strikes. When you have 55 critical chance, that's before rage is even at its max stacks. That's insane. You know, it's like every other hit you're doing 30% more damage. I mean, you can't go wrong with this item when you're building crit. Um, so if you're gonna build crit, I suggest this item on quite a few uh, physical characters because it's a good item. You know, it's a really good item. If you have some attack speed, even if you're below 50% critical strike chance, this item still procs a lot. Its passive is going to hit a lot because you're still getting crit strike chance while you're attacking. So say your attack speed is at 2.0, but you only have 25% crit strike. So you're just going to constantly crit still. Not as much as you would if you had, say, 55 or 75. Of course not. But you're attacking so fast that doesn't matter. So, Deathbringer, I like the item. I think it's good on quite a few physical attackers. Um, it's up to you, though. You know, if you don't like it, you don't like it. I understand. It happens. You don't have to agree with me. I get it. You know, if you have another way that you build, let me know. You know, I'd love to try out builds. I actually find it fun to try out new things on these characters. I am an arena player. I don't do conquest. I don't do joust, but I play arena, and it's just because I find it to be the most fun. So, anyways, moving on to Keen Sace. 40 physical power, 20% attack speed. So the stats right there are good. But the passive, on basic attack hits, deal physical damage equal to 3% of the target's maximum health. If the target has over 2,000 health, the bonus damage scales up. This effect reaches a maximum of 5% of the target's maximum health at 2750 health. It's going to shred tanks. It's going to shred tanks. So, tanks are kind of an issue. While you're doing a lot of damage to them, you know, you need a little bit of a boost against them, and that's why we use Executioner and we use King Stace. So if there's no tanks in the game, switch out King Stace for, I'd say, either Odysseus Bow or Wind Demon. Those two would probably be, they'd probably be your best choices. So Odysseus Bow, 40% attack speed. You know, that's good. But Izanami has attack speed boost for her number 1. So it's really good for the passive. The attack speed's good, but it's not necessarily the best. So every 4th basic attack triggers a chain lightning, damaging the target and up to 4 nearby enemies for 15 damage, plus 60% of your total basic attack power. That's what you're getting it for. So it's a good item. You don't need it, but that extra damage on everyone is going to be good. So that's up to you. Wind Demon is the next choice. 25 physical power, 15% attack speed, 15% critical strike chance. That's good on the stats alone. Your passive, though, your critical hits provide you with 10% physical penetration and increase your attack speed and movement speed by 20% for 5 seconds. Wind Demon's a good item. I actually do really like the item. I do switch it in instead of Keen Stace quite a bit. But again, it's up to you. If you don't like the item, don't use it. But the main build is Rage, Warrior Tabi, Executioner, Bloodforge, Deathbringer, and Keen Stace. So That's what I go with for my build. As for the relics, use what you like, but I use Heavenly Wings and Aegis Amulet. Both are good. Um, you could use Blink, you could use Cursed Ankh, you could use Meditation, Purification Beads. All those are good. So use what you like on the relics. Moving on to the abilities. Her passive. The closer Izanami gets to death, the more powerful she becomes. Izanami gains 4% physical pen for each 10% of her health that is missing, up to a maximum of 20%. Also, Izanami's basic attacks only trigger item effects on the first target hit per attack. So basically her basic attacks, she throws her sickles and they kind of work like a boomerang. So they hit once and then they come back and hit again. That's why the second part's there. The Izanami's basic attacks only trigger item effects on the first target hit per attack, because she can hit multiple people with this one attack, and it's gonna hit them probably twice. So it'd be a little OP if every item effect was being triggered on every target. So her passive is really good. Then we'll move on to her Sickle Storm. This is kind of like the main thing that's going to amplify your damage. So, Sickle Storm. For 6 seconds, she throws her Kama sickles even faster and more furiously. While active, she gains attack speed, and her basic attacks no longer return to her, instead applying bonus damage in addition to 100% of her basic attack power per hit. This bonus damage applies to all targets, including structures. So, she gets attack speed, she gets bonus damage, but the downside, her sickles don't work like a boomerang while this is active. I'm not sure how much of a downside that is in comparison to how good this is. To be honest, I would say this is just it's too good of damage to pass up. Who cares if it doesn't come back? That's not what you're worried about. You just want to get your damage in. So she uses this and she's just, throwing her sickles like crazy while getting a bonus to her attack power per hit. So it's a good ability, and it's probably the main thing you're using. Now, her second one is Spectral Projection. She sends forth a demonic visage of herself to strike down her enemies, damaging and slowing all enemies in a line. If an enemy god is killed while slowed by this ability, future uses of the slow will be increased by 6% per kill up to twice for a maximum of 30%. That's really good. So the more you kill with it, the slower the enemy is at a max of 30%. So this is kind of your get to, in a sense. This is your crowd control, but it keeps them where you want them because they're going to be slowed. You'll be moving faster while they'll be moving slower. So make sure you hit with this if you can. Now, next is Fade Away. Izanami descends into the underworld, becoming stealth, and leaps away from her current position. Taking damage or firing a damaging ability or basic attack breaks her stealth. That's fine. You know, this is a getaway or an engage. If you see your tank going in, you can use it as an engage, basically get behind to the back line and start nuking the back line. Now, you can also use it as a getaway. Say you got jumped on, you need to get out of there. So use it as a getaway. They can't see you, so you just got out of there. Most of the time, you're safe. Sometimes, an ult will hit you and you'll die still. But it's a really good getaway. I really like it. And then her last one is Dark Portal. This is her ultimate. Izanami summons a Dark Portal, which damages and silences all enemies in range. It does really good damage. It silences for up to 2.1 seconds. It's a good ultimate. Basically use it if you can, mostly in team fights. Try to get as many people as you can in it, but if you can only get one or two, that's fine. You're still doing a lot of damage. So the order that I build in is Spectral Projection, Sickle Storm, Spectral Projection, Fade Away, Dark Portal, Projection, Sickle Storm, Dark Portal, Projection, Sickle Storm, Projection, Sickle Storm, fade away, dark portal. I think I said projection for a dark portal. My bad, I meant dark portal at 13. Um, and then fade away, dark portal again. So basically, you're gonna max your spectral projection. You'll then max your sickle storm, then your fade away, and you're weaving your dark portal throughout all of that. So with that, guys, that's my Izanami build. I find her to be a ton of fun. I hope you guys like it as much as I do. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button. I've been doing guides for Smite for the past probably month or so, and I don't really have any plans to stop for a little while. So if you're looking for a certain god build, just let me know down below. I'll start playing the god if I'm not already, and I'll try to figure out a good build for the god. So I mostly play mages, assassins, and hunters. Those are my three main ones. I do have a couple warriors I play and a couple guardians, but overall, I don't really like being the tank. It's not as fun, especially if your team doesn't follow up. But that being said, I could also just be not paying attention. So, anyways, yeah, just let me know in the comments below if you're looking for something certain. I'll do my best to get a good build out for it. And as always, guys, you know, thank you for watching.